Doctor Who has been the main talking point for me for the last 3 weeks, so I'm going to continue that. So we have the Celestial Toymaker coming up in The Giggle, which I believe is actually airing tonight. Now, who is the Celestial Toymaker? Not many people will know, particularly people who have never ever watched the classic series, read any of the books or the comic strips, or listened to the audio dramas. Anyone who hasn't done any of that will not know who the Celestial Toymaker actually is. He's a really cool character. He is very much he is a fantasy character, but he's a character that you can't use very often because he requires a lot of imagination. He's not a Dalek. A Dalek doesn't actually require a lot of imagination, in my opinion. You know, we know that they are going to exterminate, and we know that they are going to take over the world, and whatever it is that they do, and how they get to the point is really the creativity of it. But the Celestial Toymaker is a little bit different, which is why you can't use him very much, because he likes to warp realities. It's very fantasy, and he likes to create games, and it's normally sort of in the exchange for someone's life or something, you know, you're betting something or something like that along those lines. So the BBC have announced that they're going to make an animation of the lost story of the Celestial Toymaker. It's only appeared once, I believe, if I've got that correct, with William Hartnell's Doctor. This is William Hartnell, who is now the first Doctor, who is now actually portrayed by David Bradley, and fantastically portrayed. I do enjoy him as the first Doctor. So this is what the Celestial Toymaker used to look like. We've obviously got Neil Patrick Harris taken over. His costume, as you can see here, has been updated, so just click on that just so that you can see. Obviously it's updated. Don't want to cry any sort of like cultural appropriation. Remember though, it is the 1960s when we last saw on the screens the Celestial Toymaker, and it wouldn't have been considered cultural appropriation for him to wear that costume. Anyway, let's go back to this. So obviously it's in black and white. I think I'm going to show you a little trailer for it where it's going to be in colour. It looks... I'm so used to watching William Hartnell stories in black and white that when it appears in colour, I'm like, whoa, what is this? It's so weird. Believe it or not, I actually used to watch TV on a black and white TV. So it's officially releasing an animated version of the Celestial Toymaker after original master tapes of the 1966 story were wiped. So they used to reuse the tapes and all of that jazz. And if you want to know like how they do these animated versions, it's actually really cool. So sometimes they have like the original voices, which they can like utilize from some of the tapes that they may have had, or part of the tapes that they may have had, and they'll use that. And then other times they'll use impressionists to do the voiceover of the characters with the animation. And then there's other times where they get all these like little cassette tapes from people who would have been children at the time listening, watching to Doctor Who, but because we didn't have something called VHS, they would record it on their little cassette tapes with their little microphones, and they would record the audio of it so they could go back and listen to it. It's really cool. And what started happening was when they decided that they were going to start releasing these on DVD and found that they had missing episodes and all of that, and they decided to animate them. These children, now adults, would give them the cassette tapes, the BBC, the cassette tapes, so that they could piece together the actual story from these recordings and make an entire animated episode. And it's because of these children, these young people who are now adults, that we get to see some of these stories that were lost. And it's so cool how they do it. And sometimes, you know, they put all three techniques together. So the fourth episode of the 4-part story was the only episode in the BBC archives after a recording from Australia was given to the BBC in 1984. So they only have one episode. So they're going to be animating the rest of them from the sounds of this. Doctor Who never used to be single story episodes. It was always originally 4 parts, right up until Peter Davison, who then started getting 2-part stories, and then 2-part stories became a thing. But predominantly it is 4 parts in classic Who. And I kind of wish we still had that in a way. But people are quite impatient. So they're going to be redoing this, and it features the Doctor played by William Hartnell and his companions Steven Tyler, which is played by Blue Peter legend Peter Purves, and Dodo Chaplet, who is Jackie Lane, pitted against the immortal villain known as the Toymaker, or the Celestial Toymaker, played by Michael Gough. And the Toymaker successfully tears the Doctor apart from his companions to play a twisted game, while Stephen and Dodo themselves are forced into some deadly challenges of their own thanks to his schemes. And this is what we're probably going to be seeing tonight. I'm actually very excited, even though I haven't enjoyed the last 2 episodes. I'm actually very excited to see the revival of the Celestial Toymaker, because he is seldom used because of the creativity behind it. But I'm really looking forward to it. And then obviously they released a trailer with Neil Patrick Harris, and so yeah, they're going to be bringing it back. Now, normally the style of the animation is excuse me, is 2D, but they're doing something different. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. Looks a bit strange, but let's just watch.
Remember the past, your little adventures. Remember my power.
What's this extraordinary place? Looks crazy to me. Now you will, Celestial Toymaker. He's a power for evil.
I've been waiting for you a long time.
What game is it you want me to play?
This, a game for the mind, Doctor, the developed mind. I offer you power. Power to corrupt, to destroy. Think of the exhilaration of that power. Make your last move, Doctor. Make your last move.
Ooh, chills, man. Chills. That just sent chills down my spine. Now, that was a cold watch. I hadn't seen that trailer for it at all. It does look weird, it being in colour. But that's just me, because I'm so used to watching William Hartnell in black and white. How do I feel about it being 3D? Looks a little weird. But they might be able to get away with it because it is the Celestial Toymaker. But if Doctor Who, I guess it's new Who, which is what they're calling it now, that is really going to be, the one that's funded and whatever by Disney. But I'm guessing, is Disney putting some money towards the remakes of the animations? I doubt it, but maybe this is Disney's creative input. It has to be 3D now. I don't know, but it does look a bit weird, but they might be able to get away with it. But I am at least looking forward to being able to see the Celestial Toymaker story. I've only ever heard parts of audio and things like that, so this is going to be really cool to finally get to see it. Are you excited? What do you think of the animation? Let me know what you think. Remember, keep the topic about the video and be nice to each other. Healthy debate. Chat, don't shout. And I'll see you soon. Thank you.